You are now listening to Playbook Radio. Here is your host, Martin Williams.
Thank you for tuning in to Playbook Radio. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You may do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. All links to the podcast can be found at gameplanplaybook.com. That's gameplanplaybook.com. So I wanted to talk to you about the importance of your dominant mental conditioning, your dominant mental programming, because that is what's determining your day-to-day life. A lot of people simply aren't aware of it, or they don't realize how pervasive it is. But the bottom line is that everything that you're doing, everything you're experiencing right now, everything that you're going through, your dominant mental programming is by and large influencing it. Now you might say, well, you don't know what's going on with me. You don't know what's happening with me. You just have no idea. And that's fine. Everyone has different things that they're going through. And I totally get that there's nuance there. But if you look at it from this standpoint, even if you've had the most challenging set of circumstances you've ever gone through, the bottom line is that you're not going to be able to outperform a purely negative mindset. If your mindset is 100% negative, you're not going to outperform it. At some point, you're going to sink down to whatever your thoughts are. So think about it this way. I know we live in a time where they're building fewer of these, but I came up when department stores were the big thing. And in a lot of department stores, they had different floors. Usually on the first floor, it was things like perfume, some clothing, jewelry, and things like that. Then as you went higher, the items got bigger. The higher you went in a department store, the bigger the things got. So at the top floor, it would be appliances, refrigerators, washing machines, TVs, and things like that. The higher you went, the bigger the things got. Now, usually this was linear with cost, but not always. But, generally speaking, the stuff on the lower floor was cheaper than the things on the higher floor. You might find some expensive jewelry, but you typically don't get expensive jewelry from a department store. If you're getting expensive jewelry, you usually get it from a jeweler. Now, here's where I'm going with this. If you think about the floors on a department store and transpose that to your mental programming, your dominant thoughts, the higher the thought, the bigger the manifestation. The lower the thoughts, the smaller the manifestation. So if you're trying to create something big, your thoughts have to be at that level or it's not going to work. And here's another thing about department stores. Everyone goes to the first floor because that's usually where you enter the store. Only some people will go to the higher floors, especially if they're looking for something specific. And the stores are designed this way or were designed this way because they wanted to just get traffic in. So they wanted to get people into the store with the hopes of them spending more time in the store. And of course, the more time you spend in the store, the more money you're eventually going to spend. Usually people who are looking to go higher in their spirituality, higher in their mindset, higher in their mental makeup, they do so because they're searching for something. They're trying to make something happen. They're trying to manifest something. They know that they have to do something with their mind and in their spirit to get to that place. The parallel is clear. If you're looking for a TV, it's not going to be on the first floor. You've got to go up to the fourth floor to find it. If you're looking for an outfit, it's probably not going to be on the first floor, especially if that's not how that department store is built. It's going to be wherever the clothes are. For a lot of people, they're trying to manifest something they had no access to because their thoughts haven't taken them to that place. And it can be hard when you're around the wrong set of energy. When you're around people who aren't positive or uplifting, if they're not focused, it can be very difficult to manifest what you need to manifest if you're not aware of what you have to do mentally. You got to put yourself in a different mindset. You have to raise your thought level to be able to have the thing that you want. But even more so, you have to program your mind with a level of precision so that it only matches the thing that you want to manifest, the thing you want to have. If your mindset is, well, I'm going to do the best I can, but if it's not specific to a goal, then you're probably not going to get the goal. You're going to do the best you can. But what if the best you can is only 50% of the way? If that's not what you want, then that's not how you should approach it. You should have a mindset that says, okay, I'm making this happen. I'm doing this, right? And essentially not allow any other thought in your head. A big piece of mental programming is taking out the garbage. We have to take the garbage out of our mind, and specifically our subconscious minds. Because if you're struggling in any area, it's probably because of some subconscious garbage that you've been carrying around for a long time, and you've got to get rid of it. Doesn't matter who put it there, doesn't matter how it got there. The bottom line is that it is stopping you from experiencing the life you want. So you've got to get rid of it. Those negative thoughts, those negative beliefs, those negative memories, whatever they are stopping you from growing. They're stopping you from getting to where you need to get to before your time is up here. Because we're all on a clock. We're all on a time clock to complete our purpose before our time runs out. And if you don't have that level of focus, then it's easy to let things sidetrack you and get distracted. 90% of social media, traditional media, 90% of everything you hear and see is a distraction. Now, some distractions are harmless. Some distractions are needed. Like if you're having a bad day and you see a baby or a puppy, that's a good distraction, but it's still a distraction. But when we feed on world news and all these other things that we know we can't watch on a continuous basis and on a continual loop, those types of distractions are harmful because they're taking us away from our core purpose. The bottom line is your dominant mental programming is determining your results. Everything that you're living on a day-to-day basis is coming either directly or indirectly, more directly than not, from your dominant mental programming. And you've got to get rid of the garbage. You got to get it out. You got to release it. And again, it doesn't matter how it got there. It doesn't matter why it got there. All that matters is that you got to treat it like the trash in your house. It's got to come out. And if it doesn't come out, then it's going to foul up everything. It's going to mess up everything. The reason that you don't have the ability to fix the things you need to fix in your life, whether it's a work problem, a business problem, a relationship problem, health problem, or a money problem, is you're being overloaded with so much garbage that you don't need to be overloaded with. Most of the things that are in your subconscious mind right now, the memories, the negative beliefs, stupid things that people have said, you just need to release them. And I'm not saying that happens in an afternoon or in an evening or overnight. It doesn't happen that quickly, but you got to let it go. You got to start the process. You have to continually let it go. You have to continually release it. Just like you have to continually take out the trash. You have to continually brush your teeth. You have to continually take a shower. You have to continually do maintenance on your house and on your car and all these other things. You have to continually do mental maintenance. You clean your house one time, that's fine, but you've got to clean it consistently, or it becomes a place that is unlivable. And for a lot of people, their lives are unlivable. And when I say that, their lives are not producing the type of fruit that they want to produce because they haven't addressed this very important point. You've gotten to the point where you don't even like yourself anymore. And a lot of the reason is there's so much negativity in our world. There's so much mental garbage. And like I said, 90% of media is mental garbage. 90% of media are things that we don't need to internalize. But just like you can enjoy something and then discard it, too many times we internalize it. Too many times we keep it in our minds. Someone calls you ugly. Someone calls you overweight. Whatever it is, you internalize it. And when you internalize it long enough, you start believing it. And then you start hating yourself. You stop doing the things you need to do. You stop being kind to yourself. You stop being good to yourself. You stop being a healthy person because you internalize all this garbage. So we got to get rid of the garbage. Sometimes it's a lot of garbage and you need help. That's why a good therapist is godsend, because it will help you process your garbage and teach you how to get rid of it. That's why a good coach is worth the money you pay them, because they're going to help you get rid of the garbage and not accumulate more. All what I said, as important as it is, the biggest thing you got to remember is if I don't fix my dominant mental programming, if I'm not programmed and I haven't programmed my mind in the way that I need to program it, then I'm not going to have the type of life that I want to have. And that's really where everything lands. So really start working on that. I have audios that'll help you reprogram your mind, help you get rid of the garbage, help you retool, because this is something you got to do every day. And if you want to have anything and keep it, you've got to do it every day, and it's worth the work. So thank you so much for listening. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to Playbook Radio. If this episode helped you, please share it with family and friends. For more about Playbook strategies, please go to GameplanPlaybook.com.